In this lesson, we're going to talk about blues intros. So what I basically want to cover is a couple ideas you can use for intros to your 12-bar blues progressions. And we're mainly going to focus on intros that use this little dominant 7 chord shape that you might not be familiar with yet. So this first example is in the key of A. So we're going to base it out of this pentatonic or blues scale shape right here that you should be familiar with. And if you go up to the second box here, so 9th fret G string, 8th fret, 10, 8, 10. In here, there's a little dominant 7 chord shape. So it's an A dominant 7 chord shape. So it's 9th fret high E string, 8th fret B string, 9th fret G string. And that's an A dominant 7 chord shape. So if you're playing A blues, it fits with that. Okay, so a lot of these intros are based around this little chord shape. So this intro sounds like this. And then you'd be on to the 4 chord in your 12-bar blues progression. So this is based off of a regular 12-bar blues where you stay on the 1 chord for the first 4 bars of the progression. And the intro is taking up that first 4 bars. It's not like an intro and then you start your 12-bar blues progression. It's the first 4 bars of the progression in this case. So we're doing the A7 dominant 7 chord shape right here. And we're just going back and forth from a half step back. So that's all downstrokes. And then up rest. That's bar 2, bar 3. And then on bar 4, we're going to slide up to it and do 4 triplets. And we're just sliding from a half step back. And then we would be on to our 4 chord, which in this case would be D. However you're playing your 12-bar blues with chords or a shuffle or however. So that's that intro. So that's how it would kind of fit in to the whole scheme of things. So now let's take a look at example 2. So in example 2, we're going to take a look at a true intro as opposed to the first example, which was basically just the first 4 bars of the 12-bar blues pattern. This is going to be in addition to. So it sounds like this. It's the same dominant 7 chord shape. We're still in the key of A, but it's going to do a chromatic walk down to, it's almost like a turnaround, really. Sounds like that. So we start on the 9 here again with our A7. Then we just move it back a half step, move it back another half step. And on the last one, we're just playing a little A major triad there. 6, 5, 5, borrowing the 5th fret of the E and B strings. And they're basically 4 triplets in the first bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then a little walk up to the 5 chord. 5, 6, 7. And you can make that 7 there an actual dominant 7 chord, or you can just play the single note. Now this is movable too. You can do this in any key. Let's go to the key of G. And you're basically you're finding that dominant 7 chord in the key of G. If it helps, you can play the scale, the pentatonic minor or the blues scale. You go up to that second box, it's right there. It's good to memorize where that chord is in relation to the scale. Same thing. Okay, so it's movable. You can play it in any key. So that's example 2. So now let's take a look at example 3. In example 3, we have something similar, but just a little twist to it. So now we're switching gears to the key of E, starting with that same dominant 7 chord shape. So for the key of E, we have open strings now we're dealing with. That chord is right there. So 4th fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret. So we're going to go. So we go half step down, 2 hits on each one. And here we do a little, we're gonna strum the G, B, and E strings, but we're gonna hammer down the major 3rd. This is the 1st fret of the G string to make an E major triad, basically. So we go. Then open A, 1st fret, A string, to a B dominant 7 chord. 2nd, 1st, 2nd. And then you're into your 12-bar blues. Okay, so that's it. The intros are basically, you could use them as turnarounds as well. Let's say we were coming from the 5 chord. Here comes the same riff. So most of these intros can also be used as turnarounds. So that's example 3. Gives you some ideas to play with some blues intros.